Hi all, I am VC from Vcacademy. In today's class, we will discuss about viruses, viroids, prions and lichens. In my previous classes, we have discussed about kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista and kingdom fungi. Now we will discuss about a separate group of classification of the living organisms which are called viruses. It will not take much time. As all my videos are for quick revision purpose, please go through them until you get clear understanding. Watch it till the end and share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe my channel into the class. Viruses, name virus, which means venom or poisonous fluid, was given by Pasteur. So who gave the term or the name virus is Louis Pasteur. And viruses are obligate parasites. What are viruses? Viruses are obligate parasites. Viruses are non-cellular organisms that are characterized by having an inert crystalline structure outside the living cell. So it has a peculiar system, right? Viruses are non-cellular organisms. So these are not cellular level and they are characterized by having an inert crystalline structure outside the living cell. So when these are outside the living cell, they will have an inert crystalline structure. Once they infect a cell, they take over the mechanism of the host to replicate themselves by killing the host. So when they are outside, they will be in a crystalline structure and not active or without life, but once they are infected, they take over the mechanism of the host to replicate themselves by killing the host, and finally what happens, they will infect one cell and finally the entire host will be killed. Next, virus contains a protein and nucleic acid. So what virus contains? Virus contain a protein and nucleic acid. Nucleic acid is infectious. It could be either RNA or DNA. Nucleic acid which it contains is infectious. It could be either RNA or DNA, and no virus till date can contain both RNA and DNA. Either they can have only RNA or DNA, but no virus can have both RNA and DNA. The protein part forms a cover or coat called capsid and encloses the nucleic acid core. The protein part forms a cover or coat called capsid, encloses the nucleic acid core in it. Coming to the viruses that infect bacteria, the viruses that infect bacteria are called bacteriophages and contain DNA as their genetic material. HIV and TMV are examples of viruses that contain RNA. Into viroids, in year 1971, T.O. DIENER discovered an infectious agent that was smaller than viruses, so he called it as viroids. It caused potato spindle tuber disease and it was found to be a free RNA. It lacks protein coat that is found in viruses and hence named viroid. The RNA of viroid was low molecular weight. So what are the main points of viroids? In year 1971, T.O. DIENER discovered a new infectious agent that was smaller than virus. It caused potato spindle tuber disease and it was found to be a free RNA. It lacks protein coat that which is found in viruses and hence the name viroid came. The RNA of viroid was of low molecular weight, that is about viroids. Coming to prions, infectious agents which possess only proteins but not nucleic acids. Such agents are called prions. They cause scrapie disease in sheep and cause mad cow disease in cattle. So the infectious agents which possess only proteins but not nucleic acids are called prions. They cause scrapie disease in sheep and mad cow disease in cattle. That is about prions. Lichens or lichens. Lichens are symbiotic associations, that is they are mutually useful association between fungi and algae. The algal component is known as phycobiont, which is autotrophic, and fungal component is known as mycobiont, which is heterotrophic. Algae prepare food for fungi and fungi provide shelter and absorb mineral nutrients and water for its partner. So, lichens are best examples for symbiotic associations, that is mutually useful association between two organisms, majorly fungi and algae. Here the phycobiont component and mycobiont component are having separate. The phycobiont component is called autotrophic and mycobiont component is called heterotrophic. Here, as we mentioned, algae as phycobiont, it prepares the food for fungi, and fungi, which is a mycobiont or heterotrophics, which cannot prepare its food, it gives shelter to algae and absorbs the mineral nutrients and water from algae, which it is prepared. So close is their association that if one saw a lichen in nature, one would never imagine that they had two different organisms within them. So beauty of the nature is such that when we see a lichen in nature, we cannot differentiate or we cannot feel that there are two different organisms in them. And lichens are very good pollution indicators because they do not grow in polluted areas. These are about the brief points of viruses, viroids, prions and lichens. In next classes, I will do separate sessions, salient features and CQs or objectives which are useful for the biological classification lesson. Hope you all are understanding my concept. Please go through it. Thank you.